Okay. Hi, David here. So I'm gonna spend the next 30 minutes refactoring this app quickly. So it's part of the refactoring.coach YouTube channel. So you can subscribe down there somewhere, or yeah, you're going to have the recording anyway later. So here is an interesting fact. I I've been doing this for a while, and I love to see when people are taking the code and are just trying to build things. But one of the frustrating part is sometimes they just take it to a place where they're using, for example, technology like TypeScript the wrong way. And yeah, you should definitely take some time and read about TypeScript before you start writing some code. So these quick refactoring session, it's actually a big app, but this quick refactoring session will just focus on cleaning up some TypeScript stuff, um, and some little things that I saw just by reading the initial code. Okay, so 30 minutes, really that's a time bound. I don't want to go above that, and we should be able to get something awesome out of this. So let's get going. This is the app, right? And uh, the code is over here. So when I already run the code, and you see here it's the initial launch of the app. You can you can do actually quite a lot there. Let me just relaunch that. So it's just a food app. You can search for let's say uh, chicken, for example, right? You can go there, add that. You can increase the number of chicken. We're gonna have a lot of chicken today, and then so on and so forth. And when you go back over there, you should be able to scroll there, have an alert. Yeah, you see hot food online. You can add food from there, and then you can go to your card, and then you see what you have over there, and then so on and so forth. And you can order now. It takes you to a page where you log in, and then you have an account, and basically and so on and so forth, right? So it's really a simple app here. Now let's look at the code quickly. So the first thing when I look at the code is TypeScript or not TypeScript. First check. So it is TypeScript, right? We have some TSX TSX thing there, but right away I can already see that there are some dead code, and that is everywhere in the app. So you can see it right there, but that's really not a big deal, right? But the first thing, another thing that I see right there is this. It's like function. That there, it's already like a big red flag. It's really big red flag. It should basically take you to a place where you're like, okay, we didn't do a great job here typing TypeScript, right? So that's already one thing. The other thing that I found weird in the way some people actually do write code is it's basically you have, if you take just that code, I've actually never seen that. So you see here function, and I can do a quick search on the in here and search for um, anything that is function like this, and you're going to see that there are 11th result in 9 files, right? So that's a quick win. That's a quick win. You can go into each of them quickly and then make sure that they're well typed, right? That's really like a quick win you can get with that. Um, and the code isn't like formatted properly. And then here, I wanted to spend a little bit of time just on the first component, which was this one. What does that really do? Uh, you can see it in like in one shot. It's a button add remove. It's a React component that takes some props here, and then use the props to render that. And it's like, oh, if the quantity is positive, do this. Otherwise, do that, right? So that there it's I think I can just work on just that file, and just with that file we can get a lot of things done, right? In terms of understanding uh, 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 TypeScript, but also using JavaScript the right way, right? So let's get going with this. So what do we have now? I'm not gonna go into the other file yet because I see the same pattern coming again and again. See here and so on. But I see just with that first file, we can get already a lot done, right? So first thing I'm going to do is to make sure that my prettier is is there, right? Is doing the job. So I'm just gonna go npx prettier and I'm just gonna separate your dot here. And this one is already going to see clean up a little bit the way things are aligned there, and then you can set up Prettier in this project so that at each save it gives you that. But not let's stay focused on the quick refactor over there. So first line at the top, let's remove the dead code, right? We can remove that, go here and then remove that part there, right? It's really not needed. If we look at the app there, that thing should still be running, right? Let's remove some dead code, but that's already first thing done there at the top, right? Now, the other thing that I have here is the fact that they're using on add and on remove. When I see what on add and on remove are doing, they're being called. So on add is here, is being called. It doesn't take any argument. So what is it really doing behind the scene? We don't know. But what we know from the usage here is it doesn't take anything, which means that here technically you don't need to uh, to pass anything here technically, but on press needs seems to be needing something that we don't have there. And you see now it says, hey, that thing is a function. Boom, complaining. Why? Because on add here you can basically say that thing there, I don't know what that thing is, but at least I know that it's not a function, right? It is that void, that function that doesn't take any argument and return void because we don't know really. Here it's just being called on press, and that's kind of the signature you want to give to on press right there. Look, let's see at let's see on remove. So remove is also right below. Really, same thing. You can just go here and remove all of this and then remove all of that. Now it's going to complain again. So you go all the way up here and you copy whatever is here, yank that, and then you go all the way here and then you put it like this, right? So that there should already clean up a bit of the thing there. My IDE has already Prettier set up, so that it format the code quickly as we go here. So now let's keep going. Um, yeah, one of the things I like to do, which is not really a big deal here, is do the import already here at the top. And I don't have to do this, especially because when you move toward React 18, 17 plus, you don't need that React import at the top. So I'm a huge fan of default export, right? So that's why I will always go with this syntax right there. So if I look at the packages, and I know that they're using React 16 right there, so I'm not gonna go into that into removing the React at the top because it's strictly not needed. Now let's keep going. This is where things become actually really interesting. So we dealt with the dead code, um, uh, uh, the 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 props here, well typed, and then we start having entering inside a bit of the logic right below here. So what is that really doing? Here, what it's doing is saying, hey, if the quantity is positive, return this. If the quantity is positive, return this. So you can clearly see that this thing, what it does, it's basically a way the place where you have the plus and the minus button. So if we go back here and go to my card, you can see that if I just add things plus here, I go back here, and then I go into my card, I see it. right? So plus and minus. It looks like it's this component really that we're dealing with. So what's button add and remove, right? So that's basically these buttons right there, which in the middle, the value that is the quantity that is being passed right there. And by the way, if for example we were to say here 23 because we like chicken, we see that now it says 23 all the way there. So that's basically this specific component right there. So what we're going to do is, so let's roll back this part, and then we're gonna work on making sure that we the logic here is kind of all right. So here when you say if this way, you don't have to, you say okay, if positive you're gonna return this, but return is kind of a dead end code thing. What I mean by that is once you say return, it's over. The thing after return will won't be executed, right? And in the case of if, you can actually do that in one shot and say if then if x return, and then you don't need the else, you can just return the thing at the bottom. So what do I mean by that? I can actually take a little bit of code here that I wrote. I'm just gonna bring on my playground, and we're going to look at it over here. So for example, here I have a simple function that says is function, right? It's a function that allows me to check if something is a function, right? So what you could do, and I saw some people do that, so they're gonna receive a function here, right? So that thing here is from any type where you don't know what it is, even though here you're actually paying €5 because you're using any, but doesn't matter because here we're just passing anything. Now, what you're gonna do is to say, what if the type of fn is equal to function, right? Then what you do there is basically saying that I have a little bit issue with my keyboard. What you do there, you say, hey, return true. And then what the code there was saying is, oh, else then return false. It's kind of exactly the same thing that you see right there that you see in this code, right? The only difference here is this one is the truthy part, like if it's true, do this, and otherwise do that. So one of the things you could simply do if you go back to that example, you don't have to do this. You can basically say if that thing is true, do that or do this, right? That's basically the point there. But hey, I can see some people already saying you don't even need that return true or false. Correct, correct, because that line here is already the truthy or falsy things, right? It contains the truthiness of that sentence. But here, I just want to show you that you can remove that else part. So if you go back over here, uh, I can just go on this line and then remove that. Don't move, don't move, don't move. And then remove that one, okay? And just save that. And you see that it moved the thing all the way there. And that basically it, right? That basically it. So you have, if the quantity is positive, return that thing, and then below just return the thing that is there, right? That's it. That's all you need to do, right? So that there is already a way to uh, improve that code. Now let's look at a little bit further what we have here. So we have the font size, colors, um, uh, the display here. So that one here is basically centering everything. And then this one here, what it does. So we have kind of inline styling. And this is something that, yeah, sometimes it's just needed. But you can actually do a better as you're writing your example. Let's see. Here it has a style that has an option view. So Where is that option view? It's declared right below. And then we have btn plus minus, and then we have a general btn here. So we have the btn plus minus, which is inside the style, and then it's used over there. But we don't have the okay, it's btn plus minus in there. So I'm just reading the code a little bit there. What do we have? Um, what do we have? This is the font. So the touchable opacity is is being used at the top there, also here at the bottom, and then we're passing some font, um, and then we have basically two. Okay, this is the container, and then we have one button, and then a view in the middle that's gonna contain the thing, and then we have a second button here, and then we see that the same thing that is being reused here now. Okay, so I'm actually reading the code just like you for the first time, and I'm like, okay, what could be improved on in this code, right? The thing that I see, if you open, you see touchable opacity, and then you also have touchable opacity over there, and then touchable opacity there, right? You see already what I'm saying there. You see what I'm seeing, right? Um, there are things that could be uh, quickly improved right there, and we have the font size and so on and so forth. So one of the thing easily that you could do here is to go ahead and create. So let me call that const export uh, base button. I'm gonna call that base button, right? And that base button, you can already guess what's gonna go into that case button, that base button. So I'm just gonna copy this and then return it, right? Like this, right? So that's basically it. And then here you're going to have a few things that goes in it. You're gonna have on click or on press, right? And then what else could we have here? Um, we can have the styles or the color. So let's think about it for a second. Font size. Oh, we also need kind of the text here. That's gonna be or I call that the label. It's basically a string. So let's say type base button props, right? And this one there is going to have on press, and on press is basically what you get there. So let me take this. So that's gonna be on press, right? This one, the label is like the string right there. So we can move it over there and say this one is a base uh, button there. And then this one we can already change by on press. There you go. And then right there we have some style. And the style there, you can basically pass some variable there, but there is a much more work to do for this, because you want to be able to uh, um, you want to be able to use a theme, like you have font colors, and instead of using them this way. But that for me to do that here is gonna be I try to keep it under 30 minutes, or literally 30 minutes, but it's gonna take a little bit of time, and you need to build that cross application right here, right? So in this case, that won't really work at this stage. So let me just pass a label, the label right there. And this one there, I can do something that looks like this. Um, I'm going to say style. But for the style, what I want to do is just to pass the style uh, uh, as an array of things. So let me think about it for a second here. Um, if we keep it, let me go back there. Uh, the dumb way will be to just say this is going to be styles. And what are styles? Styles are uh, basically CSS style, I believe. I think that's the way it looks like. Um, I think CSS styles rules. That's probably the best way to describe it. But that ain't working really well. Um, so yeah, just thinking here out loud how I can do that. So let me be completely dumb here and then uh, uh, think about it in a different way. So here, text size, I think there is a way I can make it pass uh, in a yeah in a different way here. But let me quickly put it this way: text size and text color, right? And then these two we can quickly text size. Let's say this is a string, and then text color. This is also a string. And now what I could do here is we need the size. So this is the text size. And we need the color here, text color like this, right? So why is not happy? It's not happy because text size here is actually a number, right? So that's why it's not happy. So right there, I have a base button, and the button you can actually start passing some value in there and then do some crazy things. But it's not enough because here I'm using a text size, a text color that could be. I know in React and React Native there is a way to have the the property CSS property well typed. But once you have that nailed down, what you could then do, oh, let me actually do something, add more things here. So we're going to have a kind of theme, and then export that. So I can already apply that here. So I'm just gonna say color, and then say primary color will be something like that, and let's say secondary color, and then for the secondary color I'm gonna be using this uh, here, like that, right? So that's a second. And then I'm gonna say a size. You can say what was that, text text size, um, text size, or I'm gonna say label size, and then say what is the thing here, 30. We're gonna use 30 over there, and then you can start having many other things right there. So which means that right there I can use a base button, and now I can say the label is a plus. What else do I have? I have on press. For this one is add, on add, right? What else do we have? We have the text color. Text color here is going to be theme color, and then right there we can say secondary color. And now we're gonna need just the text size, which is going to be theme dot colors dot secondary. Did we say secondary or primary? No, it's not color. I'm sorry, it's size, right? And on the size part, what we need to pass is basically the label size, right? That's basically what we have there. So once we have that, one of the things you could then do from there is just to get uh, this one, uh, yank that, and then go all the way right here, and it's kind of the same. The only difference is that minus one there, right? So we have that. So if we go on the app here, um, we can add. things. Oh, it feels like I added way too many button. Well, that is correct. So let's remove that, right? And then we're going to see that now if we go back to our cart, we still have it working there, and it's already this thing is can we can then reuse that everywhere, including over here where we can then say let's say the primary color is the white one. So if I go there and I see indeed that in the app the primary color is white, so that is this is correct. So I can then copy what I have here, yank that, and then go all the way down here and then replace it with this. And what I need to do is to say that the label is add, correct? And then on add, right? So that's gonna be on add there. However, the color there is primary and the size is 18. So what is 18? Let's assume that yeah, 18 is you can do some label uh, I like the way this technology Tailwind does it. It's basically giving you some ways for example, say small, and then you say label size, for example here, and then you say 18 like that, right? So then here, I'm not sure that's the right approach there, but you can do it this way, and it should still basically work. So once I have that, I have my base button, and then this one handles that part there, and then we have this entire thing working. So if we look at the app so far, we can add things and so on and so forth. And if we go to the cart, we see it right there, and we can keep on adding or removing things from it. Oh, but I see that uh, it's it's only adding even if you're doing that. So that's actually where testing is really important. So let's make sure that this one here is on remove. Um, Basically, so that's the on remove button. So if we keep on adding and removing, that should just work, right? Keep removing there, and we see that that entire thing is going back to zero and the cart is empty. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here for now. There are a few things that I'm gonna add. Yeah, in this video moving forward, but I already um, I think probably spend another hour entirely to refactor most of the things in this app, right? So if you seen this, if you think this is okay, please just let me know. Or if there are things you're like, no, 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 Davey, don't do that this way. It's all right. Just let me know what's your approach there, and uh, hopefully you learn at least something with this short stream. Ow, ow, ow! There's one thing I just want to close on is please people don't do that. Like I don't when look at the line 42, I'm reading button add and remove, and then but I don't know at that line, right on that line, if that thing can be exported or not, right? So I have to go all the way down to then see it right there, but it's just an export. So why don't you just go all the way up here and then make sure that people, just by reading the name of the function or the variable, they know right at that line they have the information about the entire thing. They don't have to switch to go 300 lines below to actually realize that, oh, that thing could be is exported. No, just exported that right in line, right there, right? And obviously for the people using default, that you shouldn't be doing it, or unless it's really necessary, it won't work because it's a const here. Then you're gonna probably put it at the bottom, but that doesn't prevent you to have that export right in line there. Okay, so that's it for Friday afternoon. Hopefully next week I can start the stream a little bit earlier, but yeah, was busy the last few days, and but I think there are a few more things that we can improve in this code to make it way more robust. So if you like it, just like there, or just go into the comment and trash me. That is also okay, right? And if you're the one who created that code, that was like a year or two ago, and things have evolved in the meantime. But there are some fundamental stuff that are still there, are basically this, right? You don't use a function like capital F there to type it, right? And if you want, you can actually say, you can create a type that is a void void function, right? I'm just gonna do it this way, and then you basically say, oh, that thing there is void, right? And now you can start reusing it somewhere, everywhere, basically. Void function, right? You can start reusing it everywhere, but at least you're not using the function keyword. It's really not helpful right there. Okay, so I'm out. See you next time. Cheers. Okay, for the people on the stream, still people watching? You still there? Okay, gotta go. See you next week. Bye. Bye.